Why we are now tracking our EBITDA. What's up? It's Erik J. Olson. EBITDA is an accounting term which stands for earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. And what that means is basically how profitable really is your company. And we are tracking that now on a monthly and 12-month rolling basis because, well, there's a lot of reasons. One, you clearly want to know how well you're doing as a company and what your earnings are before all those things. So those things are, from an accounting standpoint, they're bound to happen. And accountants have long ago agreed to, kind of remove that when they evaluate a company. So EBITDA, and there's variations of it as well. It could have the depreciation, it could not, it could have, other parts, but EBITDA is generally used for valuating companies. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say that you have a company that does $1 million in revenue one year. Not your company, some other company. There's a company that does $1 million in revenue and you want to buy that company. How much would you offer for that company? Would it be some sort of multiple of the $1 million in revenue, like a 2x or a 3x? Well, the problem with offering to buy a company based on its gross top line revenue is that you don't even know if that company is profitable. So let's say if you have to take a loan out to buy that company, let's say you agreed on a 2x on top line revenue. So you have to borrow $2 million. What is the loan payment amount on that $2 million? Well, there may not even be enough profit in that $1 million per year company to make the loan payment itself. You may never pay this loan off, never mind actually make some money yourself. So usually, almost always, when you are evaluating a company, it's not on the top line revenue, it's on the bottom line EBITDA, because that's basically your profit margin, if you will. And there's lots of different ways to define profit margin, but that's the earnings that come out of that $1 million. So in the example that I just used, $1 million with no profit, EBITDA would be, like zero. But if the EBITDA was, say, $200,000 a year, that means there's basically $200,000 profit, which you can use if you're acquiring that company to make the loan payment and then put a few dollars in your pocket or maybe even reinvest into the company. So EBITDA is very, very important. And that's how companies are evaluated. All right. So why do we care about that? We're not planning on selling Array Digital or Rival Digital anytime soon, but we are tracking EBITDA because it's a very good metric to indicate the health of your business. Now, at some point, we may want to sell, right? And what we don't want to do is be like, for 10 years, we don't care about EBITDA, whatever, right? We're getting a paycheck. It's all good. And then when we decide, to sell, all of a sudden our books look like crap because we've taken all the money out of the company, as an example. No. You need many, many years of good financial records and good growing EBITDA to show to someone who's interested in buying the company. Again, we are not planning on selling the company anytime soon, but even if you're not, what it means is you have a good, healthy company if your EBITDA is growing over time. And that's exactly why we are tracking it. We want to make sure that everything that we do here is profitable and that profit continues to grow along with the revenue. If you don't know what I mean by EBITDA, as far as like how to actually implement it, I would highly recommend you get with your CPA or your accountant and start talking about EBITDA. What is it? How do I calculate it? And can we start tracking it over time? Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, $1 Million Journey: How to Launch a 7-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing $1 million business. It took me 8 years and I made a lot of mistakes, and all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you can apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1 Million Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.